Yeah, I'm coming to everybody. Light, dark, black, white, old, young. No chaser, no straw. Giving it to you raw. Coming at ya. My theories. Why we choose, what we choose, how we choose. My theories. Coming at everybody. Unfiltered. Que la hay, mi gente, rico.toro. Yeah. So, thank you for returning to my loyal peoples. Hit that thumbs up right now. Right now. We're about to be dropping some gems, some science. But, and you know what? Thanks to all the new people checking in, checking me out. Thank you very much as well. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. You're going to like what you see. Real life experiences. Personal observations. So, this is not for the sensitive. This is not for the militant brothers or sisters or dudes. This is for the free-minded, the free thinkers, not those that let society control or dictate how they live their lives. So, with that said, and I'm going to give a little Sosua updates in the middle or in the end, but you got to watch to follow. So, yeah, if you're sensitive, if you're blaming your past, if you're blaming history, if you're blaming somebody else for your failures or the system or whatever for your unhappiness, or you're a sensitive ass bitch, go ahead, exit out right now. Because we don't have time for that. This is going to be real, raw, and uncut. Thank you very much. Pasa buen dia, as I would say here. So, why do we choose what we choose? Why do we like what we like? Primarily, this means men to what they like in women. So in Sosua, this is not my judgment. I don't really give a damn what the next man likes or don't like or what works for him. It's not about my approval or my opinion. These are just my observations. So enjoy, see it as some brash humor. Talk, Rico, talk. See it as some brash humor, if you may. So, we're going to talk about the white guys, the black guys, the young, the old, why they choose, what they choose, etc., etc. So, shout out to my Santiago. He kind of gave me the idea about talking about this to some degree. In town, been hanging out, chilling a little bit. So, let's start with the old white guys. My old people, the people I will be in another, well, fuck it, I'm old now. We're not getting monetized because we're just kind of uncut. We're not filtered. But the old guys that I will be part of, if I'm not already part of, in the next 10 to 15, 20 years, if this is still my country, República Dominicana. So, you got the old white guys. Many of them, sad to say, I say this with love, sad to say, they like the darkest. If you racially sensitive, exit out now. It's got nothing to do with race. But they like the darkest, roughest, most unpolished, unkept women that they could find in this country sometimes. There's a couple reasons why. Number one, some of them, they might have grew up in the Midwest or the backwoods of Tennessee, or married to a white American woman for 20 years. They've been curious, but they've never had an exotic, ethnic woman in their life. They've never had that experience. So they go to the extreme, like they end up with the bottom of the barrel, just most far from whatever normal type, usually it's Haitians, thing they could imagine, and that's what they like. And then it also comes down to, now I doubt they're thinking like Naomi Campbell, because there is a celebrity standard that some guys look for, and they realize for a little money they can get that. But usually it's not about that. They just look for the most exotic thing, and then they play the money card like that's the cheapest. That's who will take the best care of them, the best experience. That works for some. I don't knock it when it works. But for those that have unexpected knocks on their door, looking for extras, looking for favors, women showing up without any phone call, text, or notice, looking for something extra, that's when that cheapskate Charlie stuff doesn't work. So the flip side of that is, besides the exotic thing, something very different than what they've ever had before. The rico.t.toro. The L is for La Familia. So, the other side of that is I'm talking about everybody, black, white, whatever, it doesn't matter. As I said before, I'm coming at you. So the other side is the white guys that they were looking for that European model type girl. They got champagne taste, but Presidente pockets, or Pabst Blue Ribbon pockets, but they want the champagne. So those dudes, they go after a more light-skinned Venezuelan or maybe Dominican, close to what they think their European idealization of woman should be. Some of them, let's face it, they're dealing with like 8s and 9s. Shout out to them. So, other side of the coin is those guys looking for something that is relatable to them back home. Like, maybe it's that like fat booty chicken accounting. Fat, sexy administrative assistant in the office. The thick girl on a Saturday night in the average like club in Detroit or Newark. So these dudes basically, I look at some, it's not about my judgment, so I'll come back later. But these dudes are looking for like what they think should be attainable back where they're at. Or maybe an ex-girlfriend. Or they're looking for somebody that reminds them of something. Like a Puerto Rican friend of mine, Boricua brother. He was visiting and he bagged some girl, and basically her body was sloppy. Her body was trashed, like an absolute train wreck. Stretch marks, sagging, cottage cheese, thighs, whatever. Because there was something about her that reminded her of this bitchy attitude chick that worked in human resources for the company that he worked for. and he had a thing about the bitchy attitude or whatever with her, fantasized about smashing her. So he saw one similar, so he got her. Let me throw in a disclaimer real quick for the squares following along. Thank you, by the way, if you're still following through the squares. Or I don't want to say squares, I don't want to insult you. The more conservative-minded people. But most people that watch me, we're free thinking. Society doesn't determine our path. We determine our path. But anyways, I don't condone or encourage trafficking, illegal behavior. I encourage people to follow the laws and behaviors and the culture of the countries or states that they live in or visit. So let's get that clear. I don't encourage anything illegal, just consenting adults, consenting age of consent people. That's what we're talking about. So, my friend, like I said, he smashed a chubby, sloppy chick that, because she reminded him of somebody like the HR director in his company that he had a thing for secretly because he liked the bitchy ass attitude. All right, good for him. So then there's the guys that like I say, they want something that reminds them of an ex-girlfriend that got away or something, or like what they would find hot or attainable in their hometown. So they're looking for the ghetto, donkey-ass booty chick in the club in Detroit or Newark or the Bronx or Philadelphia, Seattle, Compton, you name it. They're looking at that because that's what they want some of what they missed there. Right, and so like a lot of times, let's face it, we'll be like, you could get that on any Saturday night for free for nothing in your hometown if you half good looking, got half game, half swag. But you pay for that in the Republic Dominicana paradise. But teach his own, they like what they like. And I don't say that on the judgmental tip. Because self-included, see, I'm humble with mine, self-included. Granted, you won't see me in public with too many different women because I'm real private with who I roll with. However, those that know me well, that have known me a long time, they could have seen me on Saturday with a 9 so fine like sweet wine. On Sunday, they were like, that's what Rico took home? Of everything out there, that's what floated his boat on that day? That crackhead looking thing, robot or whatever? That's what he went with? So yeah, we all have our days where there's just something inside of us that clicks. We see something in somebody, so that's our selection. So I'm not judging anybody for what they like. I'm just explaining to y'all my theories on why people like what they like. Because they all have, everybody has different hang-ups, different philosophies, etc. So then there's the guy looking for his celebrity. He's like, there's the guy looking for the celebrity, which kind of ties into the guy looking for the super unattainable. Like most of the time, a lot of us try to relate. So we're relating to like someone that might have looked like our ex-girlfriend or somebody that was hot we dated when we were young men or women ourselves, and we were like 22 years old, So we see somebody similar. A friend of mine told me once this. He said, after a certain time, when you've been with enough women, There will always, every woman you meet will remind you of someone from your past. That's absolutely true. So that's just knowledge right there. Something to think about, wisdom. So here we go. So there's that like I say, there's that past, like, oh, she reminded me of my ex. Like, for instance, there was a real slim girl from India that I dated when I was 24. I'm not going to lie. One night there was a Dominican I took home thinking she reminded me of her. You know, there was like, and then there's been some thick ones, same examples, you know, of those might have been an ex or something. Same examples, you know. And then there's those guys that like always are with like an 8 or 9 that I've known. Some I've known, whether it be white, black, or whatever. That they've always been what I would consider 8 or 9 even here. And those are the guys that are like, they don't want anything that resembles what they've had in the past, back in the Matrix, in the US, Canada, Europe, first world, modern world, we'll say. They don't want anything that resembles that. They want something that they consider as top shelf and was unattainable in their old life. And that's what they stick to. I salute those brothers for not like trying to like, you know, take the monkey bear, as TMI says, you know, just because there was some chick back in the office or back home in Detroit, in Milwaukee, in New York, in Philadelphia, that you overlooked a fat stomach, broad shoulders, big hands, cellulite cottage cheese. You overlooked all that for a big booty. I'm just saying, I salute those dudes sometimes that select what was always unattainable back in their hometown, because they realize if they're paying, they're playing. Why get something that reminds you of something that you could have had for nothing or dated before? I salute that. Like I say, I have a wide range. So, you know, I've dated basically in my entire adult life, 51 years old. You can't call me old. I just called myself old. You can't say nothing about me I haven't already said about myself, trolls. So, you know, I can tell you my entire adult life as, for the most part, an average white guy that just happened to live in the suburbs, also live in the barrio, live in the hood in different environments, still average white guy. I've only dated 2 white women in my entire adult life. So, you know, I've dated my share of Latinas, dated a chick from India, dated my share of West Indian girls, Jamaican, Trinidad, you know, Guyana, etc. Africa, Liberia, Nigeria, Mysteria, Etholekeria. Okay, yeah, I made that shit up because that's what I do. So, but I typically, my taste in general, is sometimes it's like cute enough what I might have pulled when I was a young man. You know, but generally my taste, I'm putting it out there for y'all. So don't think it is a judgment thing against anybody. But typically my taste is young, of course, legal age. I don't condone underage in any country. Legal age, wherever I'm at, as an American citizen. Cute, tight body. Whether it could be a little bit thick, as long as it's tight, curves in the right places, no excess. It could be slim, small, skinny even. A little bit of curve in the right places. But I'm not one that want to spend money on stretch marks, cottage cheese, what do they call them? Stuff that look like carrot swinging from the top. Everything's got to be firm and tight. Whether it's from the gym, whether it's from the surgeon, or just youth is on their side at this time. So I tell it like it is. I come at everybody. The old white men trying to be cheapy cheap or go super exotic. That's their thing. I'm not knocking it. I'm just putting it out there. Why? Because they have never had exotic pussy in their life. So they go extreme, some of them. And I'll just say this on that note. Most brothers, I know this. One of the dumbest things a white guy that likes dark-skinned women should ever tell a black man, please comment if I'm wrong, is some bullshit like, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Me and Bo Rakes had this conversation about some white gentleman that tried to befriend him on some fugazi stuff a while back. Turned out to be some con artist thing, I think. But that's just trying to get on his good side, try to relate to him. A white man should never tell a black man, the sweeter the berry, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I don't think. If I'm wrong, please correct me. So, anyways, and the brothers pulling girls that they could coming to paradise and pulling girls that they could pull in a Detroit club or Newark, Seattle, Milwaukee, Los Angeles, DC, Richmond, Virginia, on a random Saturday night. Why are they coming here for the same trashy thing? I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just saying their mindset is in that maybe she looks attainable. Reminds me of something back home, And then there's that celebrity thing, right? Whether it's Halle Berry in her prime, Tony Braxton in her prime. Some guys shoot for that, or, J-Lo in her prime, or Eva Mendes, Rosario Dawson, or Rosalind Sanchez, Miss Puerto Rico, or, Gabrielle Union, shout out to Dwayne Wade, in her prime. Some guys are thinking about their celebrity fantasies, and that's how they pull decisions and make. So, just some of my theories. These are just theories. Not so much opinions, not so much judgment. So, if you're sensitive and still watching but upset, got your panties in a bunch, that's your problem. But to everybody else, hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already done so. Rico.toro, dropping it like that. Once again, we on. I didn't leave you hanging. I just want to see who's still following. So the Sosua updates. Curfew is 11 p.m. every day right now. As you are viewing this video within, say, 24 hours of posting, curfew is 11 p.m. every day. 2 hours travel time till 1 a.m. So Merengue Bar was popping this Sunday night like old times. Some ladies coming in, decent amount of guys. It was fun. The beach, the scene, the town, I think it had more ladies than men visiting. Envy, I believe, is open tonight. A friend of mine just texted me, said it's pretty busy. But I just made it home from the beach. It's been a long day. So the casino, the old casino, Coral Reef, in a blue building near the beach, it's been kind of popping all weekend. More ladies than men than fellas again. However, we still don't know on the late night scene just quite yet what is about to happen, with the restrictions, the laws, the curfews, or whatever. But those are just a few updates. Hopefully we get to 70%. You know, we get past this, curfews lifted, etc. You guys come down if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. It's the red button, the red letters. It's free. God bless. Good night.